Welcome to Bendy. Join your two favorite transatlantic weirdos, Andy from Ireland and Beth from the USA, as we take you on a journey through every topic imaginable, with insight, vulnerability, and fart jokes, or in other words, the complete human experience.
Hello and welcome to Bendy, a podcast about being flexible in all of the ways that means. Thanks for joining us. My name is Andy Young and I'm one of your improper, incorruptible hosts. Joining me as always is our other improper and incorruptible host, Beth Martin. Beth, a pleasure as always.
Hi Andy, how's it going?
Good. That was a tough one because I had an in, then an im, so it was a bit of a tongue twister. So I had to I had to do my vocal exercises beforehand.
You're like unique New York, unique
Yes, exactly.
New York.
So how are you doing?
I'm good. Now I'm thinking about vocal exercises.
I know. I've heard some really great ones. That's another episode idea. We're just going to talk about vocal exercises.
We can do that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Vocal fry. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, that's good stuff. We can
know.
get an hour out of that easy.
That's the thing. We can get an hour out of anything,
That's
which
so
I think
true.
is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I'll be like, oh, we're like 1 minute 5, and we're still talking about like, I don't even know what we're talking about anymore.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
It catches our interest at the start of an episode.
Limitless. It's the
true.
best. Yeah, I'm good. Are we cracking?
Yeah.
Okay.
Start cracking.
I'm gonna start cracking. So, it was my bunny's 10th birthday, and I totally forgot about it.
Oh, I wish I'd known. I would have sent a gift, Beth. I
know.
really feel like
So-
something's went wrong there.
That's right. So I threw some photos of our animals up from last week,
Uh-huh.
and one of them was Sophie, and like he looks like a cat. I'm like, this is a rabbit, not a cat. But yeah, he's 10. He's a 10. I have a bunny named Sophie who is a male who is 10 years old. It's not a long story.
Rabbit or bunnies, how long did they live? I don't know.
You know, they can live up to like 15 years.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, so quite a lot longer than I assumed. They were like gerbils or hamsters, but no, they're not. They actually live quite a long time. So
Yeah, that's good. No, I'm glad to hear it. That's good.
So,
yeah, because Sasha's going to be 12 in a few months. She was in here whenever I started recording, but she was making noise and she's scratching a lot at the minute.
yes,
for those
Stardust gross licking.
Yes. So her scratching is it's more intense than usual at the minute. So we're having to keep an eye on it, but see if it's something that is up with her.
Like fleas?
No.
Or like a skin irritation?
Not even that. So apparently, scratching on dogs is a sign. Whenever they're in pain, they'll scratch. They'll scratch more than usual. Okay. And her scratching's a wee bit more than usual. It might be connected to her arthritis, so we're just trying to figure out what's going on with her. But so I'm monitoring it. So I've got a how itchy is your dog chart. We're gonna have I'm gonna have a wee kind of line graph at the end of this showing how itchy Sasha has been over the next kind of 3 weeks, which is exciting. So
a bar graph of itchiness.
Yeah. So as much as I don't mind, she's got a scratch. It's not good for the audio if you're hearing a scratching dog every 5 minutes.
Right. Well, we could chart it.
That's true.
Well, you're missing out on a valuable hour.
That's true. That is true. But yeah, I'll be fine. Okay. But yeah. So yeah, sorry. So that was I kind of moved on from talking about.
You sure did.
Sophie's.
You were like, "How are you?" And this is about what's happening with my dog.
Exactly, and I just bulldozed over the Sophie chat.
You sure did.
Sorry.
It's fine. And then my best friend was visiting for this last week. We met in college when we were 19. We were living diagonally in the college hall, and we all in the United States, you usually have a roommate if you're not super wealthy.
Yeah.
And so my roommate hated me, and her roommate hated her, and I remember I was a nerd. I'm just gonna call it she says it. But I remember she was just she was harassing me to the point where I would be her friend. And I remember sitting in like Psych 101 in a big lecture hall with like 800 people, and like I hear someone scream, "Hey Beth, did anyone ever tell you you're ugly?" And like it was her, and she's standing up just like waving at me. And that was the beginning of a wonderful
Wonderful friendship.
best friendship.
Was that like were you in the middle of a lecture at that point, or just in lecture hall?
No, it was the beginning.
Okay, that's
like
okay.
yeah, the teacher hadn't showed up.
That would, I thought that would have been even more chaotic if the teacher had been teaching at that point.
I mean, honestly, that's totally something she would do. So.
That's great.
Yeah, so it was good. It was good.
Good to see her. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. It's been like a year. They come and visit in January, so.
Nice. Oh, does
Yes.
fairly regularly she comes to visit in January?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. Nice. That's good. That's nice.
They go visit her family in Hawaii,
Mm-hmm.
And then she was like marlin fishing too, and caught like a 450-pound marlin.
Damn.
And threw it back.
Okay, good.
Which is also why I love her. Yes, it's back and swimming in the ocean, telling all of its family the tale of, the hour struggle.
It's visit to the land of air.
Yes.
Because they're big. Like marlins, kind of like they're scary fish. They are, with their big sort of skewer nose.
Yeah, they have a pointy beaky nose,
and they've got like big frilled like.
That's
crest or spine type thing.
So I think that is. Maybe I can't remember if that's a swordfish or a marlin.
Okay.
People are gonna fisher people. Please let us know because I'm curious about the difference. Mm-hmm. I think they have a shorter one and they're bigger fish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
So
Very
if there was a tournament, she probably would have won.
Nice kid. Absolutely.
What about you?
So
we have itching.
We have dog itching. I got to see some friends at the weekend. It was for the first time in a while. So I got one of my groups of buds. I haven't seen most of them for about like 6 months. One of my friends, one of that group, got married 2 weeks ago, and nobody really. I won't say his name in case anybody knows him, but like he got married 2 weeks ago, and nobody really knew until a few days beforehand. So I wasn't at the wedding, and it was just, and he has his reasons for doing that, and I respect that. But it's kind of funny where he's kind of like, so got married a few weeks ago. And you're like, yes, we know. And half our sort of it was a bit last minute, so didn't let anybody know. It's like, we know you. We know that you are like, as much as I consider myself to be like an antisocial person, socially whatever, he is significantly worse. So I understand why he did that. And apparently his girlfriend that he is now married to is similar. We haven't met her. We haven't met her. So like one of our group,
his girlfriend who he's now married to, I'm like, his wife.
Yeah. His wife. There's one.
You're like, it's hard to say.
There's another podcast I listen to, and they talk about their ex-girlfriends when they're talking about their wives, because they're no longer girlfriends, so they are technically an ex, right?
Right.
See the logic there, kind of.
I do. It's hilarious.
Oh my God. So Mike, could I call you his ex-girlfriend?
Yeah,
it would be true, right?
You could. So, yeah, he would
you know.
be my ex-girlfriend.
Anyway, so it was good to see him, and so and I was happy for him because I think it seems to be going well for him, so I understand his reasons for doing it that way. But one of their group is probably his best friend, and he hadn't met the woman he was due to marry, and about a month or so, or 2 months ago, he said, look, I'm coming to your house and me and my wife are meeting you and your girlfriend, because he had to basically force him to do it. He was like, oh, okay. Begrudgingly, you can meet my girlfriend, the woman I'm planning to spend my life with,
And she's a real human being.
She's a real human being. I have confirmation from somebody I trust, so I'm happy for him.
Okay.
But yeah.
Congratulations.
Right? Congratulations. It's nice. But yeah, so so it was always good, and it was good to see that bunch of folks. So it's always good to have a wee weekend event to see people. But yeah, apart from that, just something I keep meaning to update on, and I guess it's under crack, is that haven't smelt smoke for a long time now, about a month.
Good.
So I don't know whether Scotland was the
Okay.
reset switch, but
Maybe, but we started podcasting in
what?
November
Yeah,
and it's now January.
yeah. So,
That's like 3 months of smelling smoke.
and I was going on before that as well, so pretty
Weird.
nice. Who knows?
Thank you,
Who
Scotland.
knows? Exactly, yeah. That beautiful Scottish air and
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
lashings and lashings of porridge.
Do they bottle the? I was at a gift shop
Mm-hmm.
that was selling bottled air from the place that it was located, and I was like, for $8.
Ah, it's an amazing scam.
I
Shit.
know so you should find out if anyone's bottling Scottish air.
And I should ball Irish air. I mean, like the next time we go to the US and just have a fun of a trip, just
Yep,
guys,
here
authentic
you
Irish
go.
air.
That's right.
Can you believe it?
Don't breathe it all at once.
Yeah, 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 yeah. These normally go for like $100, but for you, 50.
It's a
Right?
really nice bottle.
It is a really nice bottle. Yeah, yeah.
You can reuse it.
I mean, it'll just like as long as I have some sort of shamrock on it, they'll lap them up.
Yes, yes. Remind me
Right?
to show you some of the shirt designs where I was trying to like combine Ireland and the USA,
Oh,
and other
really?
people have done it. And there's like an eagle and like I don't even know. It was like I almost bought us each one because it was so amazing. Like you
Okay.
could never actually wear it out of the house,
No.
but you could wear it in the house
Okay.
while you were podcasting.
Yeah, I'll have to see
So
this.
I'll
This looks
find it.
nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
please do.
It's like I found it or it popped up somewhere and I was like, what is this amazing piece of artistry here?
Yeah.
Like, right. And then I tried to do a search for it and I couldn't find it. So now I have to
Okay.
like I almost sent it to you to be like, should we go in this direction
I
for merchandise? Speaking of merchandise,
yes.
yeah.
Is this what's
Um,
occurring? Yeah, I think this is what's
yeah, I
occurring.
guess we've moved. So really, I want to talk about our patron,
Patreon.
Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna say Patron
Like
because
Patronus, like a Harry Potter style.
yeah, you can say Patronus or just like the tequila,
Oh yes.
whatever.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Okay. Patronage. So I'm adding episodes, and I guess I want to know because I think we're far. Well, I guess this is more something I should ask Andy, not the whole
Mm-hmm.
world. But we could do early release episodes. So if
Yep.
anyone is interested in that, that's something that I'm finding all the things that we can offer. And that is one of them. So if anybody is interested in knowing what we're going to talk about early,
Mm-hmm.
ahead of everybody else, just let us know. But it's actually quite fun to put this whole thing together and watch us
Yeah.
do this because now I'm rewatching them, and we're funny. We're funny. I think we're pretty funny.
I'm glad you think so.
I think it's worth a monthly small donation so we
Hell
can
yeah.
keep the proverbial lights on.
Yes.
And literally
Exactly.
just like the website, and I've done a few ads,
Uh-huh.
so just trying to market a little bit, and that's going well. So we just want to help spread the word so other people can bendy and listen to us blah blah blah
Yep.
and banter at each other. We have our PhDs in blathering,
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
please join us. And that's
4
what
years.
I have yeah, yeah,
We
yeah.
spent getting those
Yeah,
PhDs, yeah.
that's right.
So now
It's true.
you get to see the benefit of it.
Well, I mean, we
It's
we
fun.
met in 2019, so it makes sense.
Exactly, exactly. So the one thing I had, the one current update I had, I got to butcher it again, was somebody had said, so we talked about Halloween,
Uh-huh.
and the word is Samhain.
Same, uh-huh.
And I had
Same
pronounced it
here.
how it was written, right? So I had said Samhain. And I think that's how I've heard it pronounced, but I think probably by in American movies and stuff like that. So the actual word it's more like SOWN, but split into two. So Samhain or Samhain. I mean, I'm
Really?
struggling now, yeah, but because it's an Irish word, I think originally, so it's like it's kind of Samhain. No, okay, hold on, Samhain.
Samhain.
Yeah, yeah.
That's I'm like
But it's like
writing the word down and then someone.
it's like one of those words like
Fascinating.
you know,
I love it when people come to us with us because I'm learning so much.
yeah. But it's like one of
And
those
these are
words.
things I actually want to know.
Yeah, exactly. The useful stuff like the witching hour and whatnot. But like,
Uh-huh.
it's like one of those words. Whenever you first see hyperbole written down, you're like, well, that's hyperbole. That's clearly
Uh-huh.
that word is hyperbole. You're ridiculous if you're going to expect me to believe that that is hyperbole. But yeah, it is. And hyperbole sounds like. Whenever I heard it, I was always like, that sounds like a very sort of, some sort of American sports tournament that combines all your sports together at the same time. Right? The hyperbole.
Yeah.
Which is
I'm
kind
trying
of
to think
rad.
if there is, that would be something that would be, well, that's the Olympics, but yeah.
It's true. But
That's
kind of
really
what I'm thinking is, is people playing basketball, football, and
all at the same
baseball all at the
time.
same time somehow.
Yeah, this could be a new league
Right?
that we could start. Yeah.
That could be our money spinner. Okay.
Uh-huh,
We need to write that
I
down.
like
Nobody
it.
else has let us do that idea.
Nope, nope, nope. Copywriting.
It's ours.
It is because I said the word copyright.
Exactly.
That's fascinating.
So
Well,
yeah.
thank you, listener, for that info.
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that's. Do you have anything else for what's occurring currently?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm just chugging along.
So shall we move on to our podcast topic? Do you want to introduce the topic to everyone?
Sure. The topic is best bad habits. And I was making a list, and mine were like dark and awful, and I was like, this isn't gonna be funny. And so I did a family poll.
Okay.
So based on my children and my husband, these are the bad habits I either had or currently am employing.
Okay.
So,
Interesting.
yeah. So it's funny because I got the outsider's perspective.
Yes, I think it is.
And the whole time Mike's like, I don't want you to be mad or I don't want to hurt your feelings. I'm like, no, this is for the show. Like, come on, like lay it on me.
Give it to me.
Yeah, I'm not upset about it at all. So
yeah.
some of these are terrible, and you're gonna think really like badly about me, but
I
really am I'm totally an environmentalist.
But like, I think that everybody has terrible habits. To be honest with you, I think people don't really like to admit them, or more downplay. It's like, oh, it's not terrible because I do it. I've rationalized it in a way. So I mean, everybody has things like this, and I think acknowledging them is, a step on
The first step towards
defeating them.
acceptance.
Oh yeah, accepting them. Accepting, defeating them.
Right.
One or the other.
That's where our minds go. Oh, Andy.
I know. It's true. It's a damning indictment of my mindset.
Yeah. Okay, do you want to just start?
Sure.
What you got?
So I think, and the first one that I wanted to talk about was, and I think it's a very Northern Irish thing, probably a UK thing, is swearing.
Ooh.
So I like, cause I think that I have certainly cleaned up my act a little in that regard, but like for a long time, swearing's just used as punctuation in this country. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
fucking this,
Yeah.
fucking that, fuck, and it's like you don't notice it. And I have a memory of as a boy being with I must have been late teens, I guess, and being with friends, and I didn't know my dad had come home, and we were in the same room, and I was swearing up a storm, and I still don't swear that much to around my parents. I have started. It's as time has went on, it went up. Like I think generally my swearing's down, but anyway, I digress. So I was swearing up a storm, and my dad just came in and lit into me. It's just like, I can't believe the words are coming out of your voice, and I didn't know he was there. It was such a shock, and I was just like, ah, sorry, Dad.
You totally got busted.
Yeah.
I swear too.
Yeah, I think it's more common, like, for Western countries in a fairly big way. But I saw some things saying how, like, swearing is actually, there's an authenticity to it, and it's kind of can be quite cathartic, like almost a stress reliever, so there is sort of value to it in some ways. But yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. Uh, so is it is it part of your culture to not swear?
No, I
Like,
would say the exact opposite. I would say,
okay.
but I mean, like so many of these things on our surface, we are a polite, civilized, yada, blah, blah, blah. But
Hmm.
you hear a lot of swearing, I think. But I think it's almost seen as like a common thing to do. You know what I mean? Like it's not
Hmm.
befitting somebody of somebody
Whatever
proper
class.
wouldn't swear, but
Uh-huh.
who gives a fuck is what I say to that.
Like I had to make a decision because it's part of who I am,
Yeah.
and I had to make a decision like, am I going to swear around my children or not?
Mm-hmm.
And I really do. I have not changed my. Yeah, they hear it like normal speak, and some days we let them. I'm like, all right, you have an hour, let it all
Oh,
out,
you
and
said, yeah.
yeah, I'm like, go for it. Because I kind of like you said, like there's power behind it, and they feel the power behind
Mm-hmm.
it, and I'm like, but then the rule is that like they can't do it they can't speak around their friends like that, they can't speak at school like that, and so they don't. But like the other night, Harper was like, "This movie's just so fucking good," and I'm like, "Hey, it really is," you know.
So good.
So I'm hip to I'm hip to that.
Yeah. Yeah. So
That's a good. That's a good bad habit.
that's the first out of the gate. Yeah, I think there's value to swearing, honestly. I think in I always respect comedians who can tell a good joke without swearing. Like I think some comedians lean on it far too heavily. So
Yeah,
I understand the value of not doing it, but I also think that it's a good tool to kind of have in your arsenal.
like Jim Gaffigan.
Yes, yes, and he's great.
Yeah, he's like one of my favorites.
Yeah, he
I
is.
saw him live once.
Oh, nice.
Don't be jealous. I
Oh,
know it was
I'm
great.
jealous. So what about you? Do you have
Uh
what do you have for me?
so I do this thing where it's really derogatory, but we call them girl beers, where you just drink like half of your beverage
Mm-hmm.
and then you open another one and then like leave that one. You drink half of that and leave that somewhere else, and like that was the first thing that Mike said. He was like, "Oh yeah, like your half drunk soda cans." He's like, "And if I catch him in time, right? Like I'll drink them after you, so that like it gets drunk." But
Yeah.
like he's like, some days I find like six or seven, and I'm just like going around like behind you, like picking them up as you're
Wow.
dropping them. Yeah, like Albert in the first Batman. Like when Michael Keaton like goes to set a champagne
And
glass down
he's
and
got
he just
Trey.
grabs it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
So yeah, and apparently this has gone on my whole like adult life because Becca was like, or my best friend was like, there's three girl beers on the counter. You're still doing this, and I was just like, yes.
Wow.
So
How
yeah.
interesting. Is it just
Hmm.
because like they're kind of starting to get a bit flatter and stuff like that as it goes on, and
Yeah, I'm
they're a bit
busy.
warmer? Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm moving around all day, like, and
Sure.
I'll forget. I'll just be like, oh, I'm thirsty, and I won't be like, where did I leave my glass or
I get
whatever.
you.
So I'm trying to be better about it, and I have like one of these canteen
Yes.
things, and that's harder to lose, but it's not as much fun. I
Yeah.
just like and I like to crack the can open,
It's
and
very
the whole
satisfying.
like, it is just feels good.
That's
So
nice.
I think
Okay.
that's part of it. Yep.
That's a good one. That's acceptable. I
Okay.
I think that yeah, there's some sort of magic about the first sort of swig out of a can.
Mhm.
Especially canned stuff, it just feels like, and I have had plenty of
It's like
people.
lighting a cigarette. Not that
Yes,
I've ever done that.
yeah, me neither.
Or like lit everyone else's cigarettes,
Yeah,
sometimes four or five at a time.
just to get that sweet hit.
Total party trick
Yeah, that's
that
nice.
I've never done.
um, that's a good one. So um, okay, so I don't think I really do this, but I think I'm kind of addicted to it, which is gossiping.
Me
Like,
too.
I really love to hear hot goss. Like, I mean,
Hot goss.
more than anything. Like, and And here's the thing, and I think I get a lot of hot gossip because I'm good with secrets. Like, I don't, if somebody says to me, nobody can know about this, nobody knows about it, do you know what I mean? And I'm really good for that. Um, so
You're just a good listener
I am, and
too.
I do, and I ask questions. I think that are, I'm not just like blah blah. I actually listen, and I'm like, if there's anything relevant I have to add, I think I'm quite good at that. But um, so like I just love hearing, but I think that is um fairly normal. It's common. It's
No, but no. I will say, like, I've never heard a man admit that.
yeah. It's true, and it's so and guys love to gossip, like, but they just I think it's because the word gossiping in particular gets has a bad name or seems to be attached to like femininity in a way for a lot of
Mm-hmm.
guys. I don't think I agree
Mm-hmm.
with that necessarily,
Mm-hmm.
but I think like and I've heard this, in scientific, I'm doing air quotes, I don't know if they're scientific studies, that like gossiping's good in terms of making you feel connected to the community and a part of something, and it's good for your mental health. But I just love, like, I really love. So there was a online, I guess it was kind of newsletter. I really don't know if it still exists. I think it does in some form. Called Pop Bitch, and I used to get like be on the newsletter, and I would get like a Pop Bitch. You get it sent every week or whatever, and it was just filled with like these like gossipy celebrity stories, and they were like, depending on how incendiary they were, sometimes it would say some blah 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 singer has been seen doing this sort of shit, like, because before Chris Brown was outed as like the woman beater that he is.
Uh-huh.
There was a ton of stuff about him, and that sort of thing. And it didn't mention him by name, but everybody kind of fucking knew who they were talking about.
Yeah.
And that guy still has a massive career, which is always kind of staggering to me. But yeah, it was very interesting, and as I say, I still love to get a bit of goss.
Um, so I am super hip on the gossip train
Mm-hmm.
also.
Mm-hmm.
Like multiple times to Daily Mail, TMZ.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've heard of the latest one is on Instagram called Dumois,
Mm-hmm.
where people actually like send in tips.
Oh,
Like saw this
really?
person eating like saw Taylor Swift at this restaurant eating pasta and like drinking a Cosmo. She had two or whatever. And so it's like it's not even and it's like people are getting giving tips for free. So what was monetized before is totally
Yeah,
changed. Like she's changed this person. And that's the other thing, we don't know who this person Dumois is. No one knows. So it's
quite
like an
interesting.
anonymous, yeah, it's a thing. And so there's a newsletter that comes out every week that's like, like here's what's happened and like things that have come true, like in the news. She will have, or they will have like put a like blind item in,
Uh-huh.
and that's Reveal Moi. And that's also on Instagram. I'm such a nerd right now. Apparently, this is something that we have in common. So I'm like, yeah, it's like, it's crazy. And then they've started their own merchandise line. So you'll see, like, for, yeah, have a hot tip, call 1-800-DUMOIS. And
Uh-huh.
people are wearing these shirts, they're wearing the hats. You'll probably see them in Ireland now.
Very interesting. Yeah,
I
that's
know.
I think
And then
that's
yeah, it's like a thing.
you just have to host and build, momentum for something like that, and then just people can create the content. That's fascinating. I
Yeah.
suppose like that's like a lot of things like YouTube and stuff like that, I suppose, as well. But that's
I mean, yeah,
interesting business
it's
model.
totally different than what other people have done. Now they're partnering with like restaurants that celebrities go to, and like it's a whole thing,
Awesome.
and it's made every single person feel like they're part of this like underground gossip train
I like it.
thing. So
Like
yeah,
I should be clear as well. Like, I don't want any sort of anything that like is damaging or hurtful to people isn't the sort
same,
of stuff I'm interested in at all.
right?
I
No,
really don't want to know, like, but if like things that like maybe people struggle to talk about or they don't feel they can talk about. Do you know what I mean? It's
hmm
it's and because it's like it's helpful to me as a human just kind of knowing. Oh, thank God, I'm not
yeah,
it's not just me who's like a mess at times. Everybody struggles
yeah,
and goes
yeah.
through these things. It's kind of a relief in a lot of ways. So I yeah, love it.
Do you
mad for the
gossip?
gossip.
So you're like, do you gossip about like, do people come to you and tell them gossip about like your friends?
I guess like I think I said to you before, I'm in like multiple kind of friend groups, so people will
Yeah.
talk about stuff, and I think that like if somebody is
Mr. Worldwide.
Mr. Worldwide, as we know, um, as depending on like for example, my friend earlier, I'd heard
Mm-hmm.
ahead of time that he was getting married, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
what? And it was
Mm-hmm.
like 2 weeks beforehand. I couldn't believe it. So that was a wee slice of goss. So I do get told stuff, and as well because I am pretty discreet and I don't know. Who knows why I get told this stuff. So I don't know. I do tend to get told a lot of it. People, I don't think I seek it out necessarily, but people do kind of, I don't know, like talking to me. The
Mm-hmm.
freaks.
Mm-hmm. The
There's
freak.
freaks who like to talk to me. You weirdos. I love you. Somebody joking.
That's good. Okay, are you ready for this?
Yeah. Is that me?
Don't hate me, world. I leave the heat on and the doors open. I leave the lights on when I leave the room. I turn the air conditioner on and leave the doors open.
Insanity.
I know. I'm that person.
I think certainly lights is very common. Do you know what I mean? And
Uh-huh.
I don't think that is unusual. But it's good that you know that you're doing it.
That I'm talking about it?
Yeah.
Or that I'm doing it? That I'm
Because I think a
killing
lot
the
of people
environment.
just would be like, just light on in the room. Who put it on? It wasn't me. You sure?
No, it's absolutely me.
Yeah.
And there's like six cans of soda sitting right next to the lamp that's on. So it's like,
Wow.
yeah.
That's
I have a weird like body, and it needs to be a certain temperature, and it's really high. It's hard to maintain just the right temperature so
sure.
that I don't get like cold hands and need to wear the Big Lebowski sweater, right?
Yeah.
Like, but that's something I think I need to work on
Mm-hmm.
and not accept. So,
Yep. That's good.
yeah,
It's good
yeah,
to acknowledge it. I like it. Yeah. I mean,
yeah, yeah.
I think I do it to an extent, and I like though money being what it is and everything being so expensive at the minute, I've definitely been more mindful of it and more kind of careful about it. But
Yeah,
then,
and to be fair, like we have solar power,
yes,
so
exactly.
I'm not killing the rivers
So you need to
that
use
I
that
know.
solar power. Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
like I gotta get it,
You gotta get your
use
money's
it.
worth. Yeah, exactly. You
That's
gotta
right.
get value out of that power. No, that's a good one. Yeah, I mean, look, and I say I definitely do. And I mean, if, for example, I have to leave Sash to the house and it's nighttime, you better believe I'm putting a light on in the front room, light on in the back room. The radio's going to be on so she doesn't get lonely, I'm not going to apologise for that. That's just how it is.
Right, right.
Because my girl's
And it's
got.
like normally, and I didn't think about this. We don't have as many lights,
Mm-hmm.
but because it's really sunny here,
I was
and
going
I'm
to say,
complaining,
yeah.
because it's just dark. It's so dark that I actually have to have a light on today, and I was like, look, the light's on. It's so weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll leave a room and leave all the lights on. Sometimes like I'll get up in the middle of the night, get a drink of water, forget, and Mike will be like, "You left the lights on all night again last night." I'll be like, "Damn it! Ah, sorry." It's just like I'm already like 10 steps ahead of like this is how not present I am.
Sure. It's interesting.
So, yeah.
I have been leaving. I have been leaving a lamp on occasionally in the kitchen to let the mice know that there's no business. There's no food to be at here. Stay away.
Don't
It
even try.
does not work.
How are
Okay.
the mice? How are the mice?
I haven't seen him in a few days. I think he might have
Okay.
got the hint, but I really don't know.
Okay.
He's a cheeky bastard. He was on this desk last Wednesday or Thursday. I came in. I had an apple, or after my lunch I'd eaten an apple, and I'd set the apple core on a plate on my desk. And I had to go off and do other things. I should have cleared it away. Came back. He was on the plate. He was eating the apple core.
He's like, thanks so much. So tasty.
Such an asshole.
So considerate.
Yeah. So.
Well, treat him nicely, or he'll die in your wall, and then
That's
smell the
true.
place up.
That is true. Yeah, I don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
That happened to me once when I was in the dorms,
hmm
the dormitories, and like you couldn't do anything about it. They're not gonna like break the wall down to get the dead mouse out, so we just had to deal with dead mouse smell for like a week and a half. It was so gross.
Yeah, no, I
You're
don't.
welcome for that story.
Gross.
Mm-hmm.
I
Right.
yes, so no, shall I do another one?
Yeah.
I guess like 100% I have a terrible overeating habit. Like I have to absolutely like currently I am because of like my Christmas successes I am back to putting everything I eat into an app because like the simple act of observation really kind of helps me go, oh, okay, and has been proven to kind of work for me in the past because otherwise I will just, and it's emotional eating, I think, so I will just like constantly shovel food into my mouth and be like, that was nice, I've eaten a lot of it, I still want that sensation.
Right.
I'm gonna go and eat some more food.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a bad habit of mine, and I think I told you about it before on the podcast. Like, 'cause I'm pretty certain I have a bit of an addictive personality, so it's why I try to like temper things. I try to limit things as much as possible, or in a way that's sustainable.
Mm-hmm.
So this has worked for me before. But like the lot, nor ordinarily when I do this for a period of time, like I have 5 months or whatever of doing this, and I lose a bit of weight, and I'm like, okay, I can. This is a bit restrictive. I'll come off it for a while now. I'll have a week where it'll be fine, and then I'll just pig out one day, and then it's like, ooh, here we go. Welcome to
Is
the
it like
pig out zone.
like the roller coaster
Yes.
of eating emotions? Yeah, I didn't used to do that. And then I think it was like when I started like experimenting with weed
Sure.
in like college, and I was like, I'd never had the munchies before, and then I was like, this is so amazing, this food tastes so great, like, oh, this is the best. And then I started picking up that behavior, which
Mm-hmm.
is like, I'm blaming the drugs, but
It's definitely a big problem. Like, because that is one of the other ones I was going to get to later. Is the whole weed thing, and it's like
yeah.
it has definitely become a habit for me, and I have kind of noticed I've become reliant on it, and I'm like, and it is, I mean, people talk about gateway drugs. I think weed more than anything is a gateway drug to eating food
Same.
more
That's
than
yes.
any other drug.
For me, it's napping and eating.
Yes.
Like
So,
the right amount of Reese's to pretzel
yeah.
ratio.
Because
Right?
and then you like have that combo, and you're like, this is the most amazing thing ever. I need to keep having the sensation again and again.
Yes. Yes.
Aye. So
And then if you have someone next to you to tell them about like the amazing experience that you're having in your mouth.
there's a party in my mouth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, I would say yes to both of those. Like I'm having a problem right now where I get, it's like I have like food manias.
Yes.
Where like 2 weeks ago it was sliced turkey. Like we found this really good sliced turkey, and Mike went out and like bought it, and I'm just like rolling it and eating it. I'm having as much as I want of it, and it's not like bad for you or whatever, or maybe it is. Who knows?
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's okay. It's protein
right.
and stuff.
So then, so then he goes
there.
to the store this last week, and now I don't want it. And he's like, I just bought you like $30 worth of dried turkey, and I'm like, you don't want it anymore. Now I'm on a Tillamook cheese and chips together.
Ooh, nice.
Corn chips, so good. And then I just like right ratio of those. And
What's
they're
the
not even
cheese?
high. It's do you have Tillamook?
I don't think so.
Oh, it's good. I'm sure I shoved some down your throat when you visited.
Quite possibly, yeah.
It's so good. It's like the best cheese in the world. They do like ice cream, butter, and it's a cow co-op in like off the coast.
Oh, quite possibly you did get me to try some. Now you mentioned it. Yeah.
Yep. I sent some to our friend from yoga, and it took her and her mom, like, I sent her a loaf.
Yeah, she showed me a picture of this, or she showed me a picture of it. It was insane.
She was like, it took us a month to eat it. And I'm like,
yeah.
that's way too long. We go through one of those like a week, and that's the baby loaf. So,
um,
sorry, I just took over
no, you didn't. It was
all of
great.
that. But okay, do you want to talk about weed?
Yeah. So
Okay.
let's get into it. So I guess like it's and I think for a long time I have said to myself, it's not addictive, it's fine. And I don't think it is, but I think, I have an addictive personality anyway. I kind of like the kind of. So I think I've said this to you before. For a long time, it was a reliable way for me to not to switch off completely. Now,
Mm-hmm.
kind of a roll of the dice. Sometimes it will be allow me to completely disconnect, and I can like chill out. I can get under my weighted blanket. I can watch a show. It's like my wee escape pod. But there are sometimes I'll take it, and my brain will go, "Do you remember that thing that you thought you had figured out and you had kind of resolved and made peace with? Shall we re-examine that in exhaustive detail for like 30 minutes?" Which isn't great. It happens less. I think like 25% of the time, but it's still enough that I'm like, I probably need to revisit this whole thing and see whether I can at least take a step back from it or whatever. But I've become so reliant on it that it's gonna be tough. But one of the changes I did make with it was because like I did tell you this before. Whenever we roll joints in this country, you have tobacco with them as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I eliminated that and I started using something else, and it saved me a ton of money in weed and stopped me smoking tobacco, which I was pretty pleased with. But this is the thing: in a case like that, you give them tobacco and you're like, "Good for me, giving up tobacco," and you just go harder into the weed. you know.
Yes. So
So
it's like legal here.
so
So California, it's all legal,
mm-hmm.
and what that means now is, I remember, um, well, I'm not going to get into that, but I basically had to go and the 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 amount of THC that is in these edibles and all of it, it's the percentage. It's like this one's 4,000% THC, and you're just like, I don't want to melt my face off. I just want to like take a nice walk. I want so
Yeah.
I the last time I went to the store, I was like, okay, here's what I want. I want my like best friend's brother's weed that he's growing in his parents'
Mm-hmm.
basement, and like they don't
Mm-hmm.
know about it, and it's really not strong at all, and you have to like use the like smoke a lot of it to feel anything at all. Like that's what I want
Yeah.
because it's all melt your face off.
Because like even when I was over with you, what, a year and a half, 2 years ago now
Uh-huh.
ish, and we went to the store and you
Yeah.
could buy pre roll joints, and even the lowest strength pre roll that we bought blew my head off
Yeah.
completely.
Yeah. I got one that was like 27%. That's and like when we were in Portugal, like that's what I wanted.
Yeah, that was
That's
good stuff.
that
That
was
was.
the perfect
Mm-hmm.
amount.
Mm-hmm.
So, um,
I,
but yeah, I do. I have like I don't see it as a bad habit necessarily. I'm not using it for like anything. Like I'll take like CBD for
yeah.
pain, and I was taking it for sleep for a long time, but now I'm on a different medication and I don't seem to need it. Um, but I used to do it for like fun and enjoyment,
Yeah.
but it's just too hard like with kids, and I get the
Yeah.
paranoia all the
Yeah.
time. I'm always paranoid. So
I
or and hungry
I don't think.
and tired.
It depends. Like if I'm with a group of people and I know I'm going to be with them, I can do it outside. But otherwise, my preference is not to do it because I hate being high and then going into a social situation. It's just not fun.
No.
I don't think at
No.
all. Not for
Yeah.
me anyway. Um,
No.
but overall, in the grand scheme of things, I really do think in terms of like drugs that you could be connected with, it's not so bad, and certainly compared to alcohol, it is
Yeah.
far preferable in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally agree. Like I remember the first few times doing it, and like I was, in college or whatever. I
Mm-hmm.
was a late bloomer, and just being like, no hangover in the morning. What is
Yes.
this like magic potion? And I still believe that.
Very much so.
Um, okay, so I'm an interrupter when I'm high or drunk.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, like I pride myself on being a good listener. Like when I'm, and he's like, yes, yes, you are.
You are. No, no, no. I was,
Yeah.
I was nodding to the listener thing, but yes,
No,
go on.
no, no. But like I'm normally a good listener, but once I imbibe in anything, I just cannot shut the fuck up. And like I remember there were times in Portugal where like we had been drinking or like smoked a joint or whatever, and I was just like talking, and like you were all being so polite and just being like, let her do her thing because she's just on a roll, and who knows what story I was talking about or whatever. But like I Mike mentioned it a couple weeks ago. Like we
Uh-huh.
were to dinner with a friend, and I'd had like one too many or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and I just like took over, and I feel bad about that.
Like, I mean, like, I can't say that I've noticed it in terms of like flip sake Beth. Would you stop? I've never really felt like that in terms of but like for me, I really like I love hearing people talk anyway. But I also it's a double edged sword. But like it's one of the things that kind of really helps me loosen up and makes me feel like comfortable around people. Like it sucks that I kind of need that, but it's kind of
Me
true,
too.
unfortunately. And I really like that it sort of graces the wheels of like socialization for me. So I think like as long as people, because I think that's common. It's a fairly common habit in that way. Because I think so many people do it. But there's and obviously with drink especially, you know. Things can go south quite quickly, and as long as that doesn't happen, and it's just like
Yeah.
blah blah
I always
blah, it's
think I'm
fine.
quite charming, and like I
Yeah.
stay away from religion and politics, and like I
Yes.
follow those those social rules for having a good time. I just think I'm really like funny.
Yeah.
And whatever I have to say is like more important than what everybody else in this world has to say.
Alcohol.
Uh,
I hear you. I hear
yeah.
you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's
Um,
one I'm not so proud of, and I need to like rein it in on all levels.
yeah. I I just changed image and it's like I'm looking into the sun. Yes, I know what you mean. Like for a while there, I had completely given up drinking for like about a year, and I still don't do it very often. It'll be an occasional
Mhm.
thing, and if I do, I really don't like drinking to excess because if I do, it's like this is my weekend gone basically, and I hate that. I really, really do. I hate the
Yeah.
recovery days after a lot of drinking. Really pisses me off, honestly. So, I've if I it's one of the things that really kind of stopped me from going too nuts anymore.
Yeah.
Stops me from going too nuts anymore.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Um,
You got any more?
um, so one of the things, and I wonder if you've had a thought on this, was coffee.
Mm.
I think that I kind of, I mean, like, people have various feelings on whether this is a bad habit or not, but I kind of need a cup of coffee in the morning, so that's
I
an
thought you were gonna
addiction.
be like, I love pumpkin spice lattes, and I was gonna be like, this is we can't podcast
And
anymore.
I just hold up a giant tub of pumpkin spice that I'm like, this is me for the year, Beth. Um, no, and I think that it is um, there's negative connotations of caffeine and stuff like that, but it's another one that I've noticed like how it affected me sleeping, and it was like I'm gonna go with coffee, and I did it for a year, and it was brutal. And then like I just minimize it. I just make sure I drink one cup, and I have it in the mornings, and then that's it. Because or else it'll just
Yeah.
destroy my sleep. Otherwise,
I can't. I used to be. Mike is like he's a one pot a day kind of
uh
guy.
huh.
Uh-huh.
Nice, good for him. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And he doesn't need sugar, he doesn't need cream. He's
Yeah.
just like, yeah, I'm in it for the drugs.
Yeah.
That's what I need to get through the day.
Yeah.
And like he also drinks like Diet Coke during the day too. I don't know how much caffeine he ingests. So
Yeah.
that's his best bad habit. I can't, because of my health conditions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I can't drink coffee anymore.
Do you miss it?
I do. I do. I miss the yeah, I miss the ritual of like
Yeah.
pouring it and sitting there and, reading the news and like pouring some of that really good Irish creamer in and like or yeah, and like watching the kids and just like watching the sun come up. And I
Yeah.
don't do that now. Like I don't have that thing that's forcing me to like start my morning a certain way. It's just
Yeah.
like, and I do miss it. And I could totally like make myself a cup of tea or whatever, but it just doesn't feel the same.
It's not. No, I totally agree.
Mm-mm.
And like, and I wonder is it like the whole placebo thing with like the caffeine, like is tea's caffeinated as well, but like I
Yeah.
just don't get the same hit from a cup of tea that I would
No.
from coffee.
Yeah, and you don't get like headaches from not drinking a cup of tea a day,
It's
right?
it's true.
You're not like, oh,
Uh,
I have this headache, nothing is taking it away. I must drink the coffee, and then it's gone,
just
right?
like
So
damning indictment of coffee there. Yeah, it's like I need my hit. I needed my fix.
I needed my fix, and like I wonder how strong coffee used to be before like Starbucks became a thing, and like, you know, now
Yeah,
everyone's having coffee milkshakes for their,
that's
you know,
true.
their adult coffee
I
milkshake.
was where is it? Is it Panera? Is doing this like what
Hmm.
charged lemonade that like is giving people heart
Do you see?
attacks because there's so much
Yeah,
caffeine in it. It's
yeah.
that's
Like
fucking nuts.
two people had to go to the hospital, and then like I read yesterday that one person is suing them because not like a third person is suing them because she had like bad reaction.
Absolutely wild. Like it really is.
Yeah.
Um, do you have
Do
any
you
other?
remember?
Sorry, go on.
I was gonna no, I'm blabbing, but do you remember Four Loco?
I do.
Did you guys have
We
that?
still have Four Loco.
Is it still like the same recipe that it was? I think
I
they
don't.
changed.
I think UK is more restrictive, so I don't think ours was ever quite as intense as the Four Loco you guys had. But we definitely, I
Yeah,
think we still have it in
I have
some places.
photos. Yeah, I don't think they sell it here anymore. If they do, like it's just not the section of the store that I'm in. But Mike definitely went through a Four Loco period.
For the folks that don't know, Four Loco is, and correct me if I get this wrong, it's a
Yeah,
caffeinated alcohol drink. Like
yeah,
it's like
yeah.
it's like sweet sort of drink. Isn't it like lemonade and stuff like that, or it depends.
Yeah, it's basically what people do with like Red Bull and vodka,
Yeah,
but it's like three times stronger on
yeah.
both the alcohol and the caffeine. So you're just like insane, basically, and you're up forever. And yeah, it's yeah, Ah,
Rocket fuel,
yeah,
as they say.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
if you do you have any others? Because I have another sort of reversal of this. If you don't,
I mean nothing, nothing.
um,
I mean I procrastinate.
yes, that was something else I was thinking of. I'm wild for that, but
Yeah,
I've kind of turned a lot of my procrastination in. Oh well, okay, I don't want to do this thing, but I need to do something with this time, so I'll like hoover the house or like tidy up a bit or do something I've been putting off for ages. So like my procrastination kind of forces me to do other tasks that it's just the peak tasks that I'm avoiding.
yeah. I'm a work. So it's I'm I don't know like a diagnosed workaholic or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But part of that is also you procrastinate you as hard as you workaholic. So like
That makes sense.
I will hit at home. I will be doing all the things, and then all of a sudden I can't do anything. It's
Yeah,
super weird. So at least I can point my finger at like that part of my personality and just be like, that's just who you are,
yeah. I
and that's okay.
I think I can relate to that for sure. Very much so. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's interesting to think about.
So I learned that in therapy.
Yeah, therapy. It's good for all your ills.
Right. Get
Uh,
addicted to therapy.
yeah, get addicted to therapy, everybody. Ideally. Um, So one of the things, because I was looking through lists, I just get a wee bit of inspiration to think about things, and
Mm-hmm.
so I got through, looked through some lists of bad habits, and I was looking at some bad habits that they listed, and I was thinking, could I do with a bit more of this? And one of them was losing your temper. So like I don't really lose my temper because I'm fairly even keeled. Like I do, but I normally lose my temper at myself,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think I would ever want to start losing my temper at people. It's just not me. But I think it'd be better to use that as a kind of pressure release a little bit, rather than
I
holding
don't.
things inside.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I lose my temper. It takes me a lot of being ignored by my children for me to lose my temper.
Yeah.
But when I do, it's like it has gravitas because it doesn't happen very
Yes.
often.
I,
Um, but I would say I probably lose my temper more than you.
yeah. I mean, I can count the explosive times I've lost my temper on one hand. Like it's
Oh
very
yeah.
rare.
Oh
It's
geez.
like, and people are always like, "Whoa!" And I think there's some sort of saying behind that. It's like be careful of the temper of like a mild mannered man or something like that. I can't remember what the saying is,
Mhm.
but because it always people are always like, "Whoa, what the fuck's happened?" But like, it's interesting because some of the people I've lost my temper with are some of the closest bonds that I have, and which is an interesting, weird sort of thing. So I don't know what that's about, but I always kind of find that an interesting sort of to look at that and see where those parallels are.
Mhm. That's a really interesting question. Yeah, my dad prided himself on his temper.
Oh, really?
And yeah, and he was a New Yorker. He was a redheaded New Yorker. So,
Nice.
um
That's a
he
confrontational.
would oh yeah, I mean, he would just lose it at the top. I mean, he was always yelling, and I remember like I was in high school, some 16 or 17, just being like, I think I might have an ulcer someday, like but he would just off gas and then
Mm-hmm.
feel great, and that was sort of his way of dealing with things. Um so I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it's unhealthy to lose your
Yeah.
temper. And I think I wonder what that would do for you.
Yeah. I, I mean, I think like
Like, can you think of any areas of your life where you're like, oh, I could totally lose my temper about that?
mm,
You're like, no.
I mean, yes, but like, I'm generally angry about like work and and and
I'm mad
certain,
about jobs I don't even have anymore.
yeah,
Yeah.
very much so. So like
Mhm.
that's, and like there's something and I've worked with people who are almost like serial temper losers, I guess, and it's impossible to work with them. And they often get their own way because people just don't want to deal with them, and I really
Yeah.
hate that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but I think there's a balance to be found there. I just don't know what it is.
I really like that question.
Mm, good.
And I like the idea that you're flipping that and thinking about it in that way.
Are there any? Is there anything like that that springs to mind for you?
I'm looking at my
Mm-hmm.
list and I don't think so.
Okay.
I think, yeah, I don't think so. There are things where I've like, I remember Mike and I first started dating and I was a slob and he would like look at my house. I literally would feed, because I had a really sweetie head who
Yes.
we talk about. She was obese. And so I was like, she needs to move around more. So I would throw her food all over the house in one big. So then she'd have to walk around and go like like
The finer food.
like a
Yeah.
little kitty video game, right? Um, and I thought it was totally normal, right? And the first time I did it in front of him, and I was like, "Homeless kitties," and they ate all the food off the floor. He was just like, "What the fuck have I just stepped into?"
That's good.
And like my car was a mess, but like I've cleaned my act up.
Yeah.
I'm a tidier person, and I think that's for the better, you know. And it's interesting, like, you know, you can change over time. Like you can change your behaviors.
Yeah.
You can change your habits, and you know, but I really like that. I'm gonna leave this with wondering about that question of like what are some habits that I could have more and do more of.
Yeah. I think
You
that
know.
might be a good place to move. Yeah, it's a good place to move into
Yeah. Yeah.
our last section.
Yeah.
Um, and the question that we all dread. And as I'm about to ask it, I'm thinking, oh no, my eyes are darting across the place as I'm trying to think of something. But Beth, I'm going to ask you first then, what's been bringing you joy this week?
It's like being at a restaurant and someone doesn't know what they want. They're like, "You order first. You order first. I'll order first." So,
Yeah.
um, I got to go to my favorite restaurant in the whole world,
Mm-hmm.
which is in downtown San Diego by the airport. It's like right by the airport.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the people that own this restaurant, it's been there forever. Like it's changed ownership and all that, whatever. But they were smart enough to have an open air like back area.
Uh-huh.
So you know, it's like nice tables, heaters, and you can sit out there literally under the flight path of all of the small commercial airplanes that are flying,
Cool.
maybe 100 feet above your head.
Nice.
So we took my friend and her fiance and the kids, and I was like, "We're going somewhere. I'm not going to tell you anything about it." And like, we walk in and like sit down and start ordering, and like all you know, every 5 minutes a plane just goes. It's like you're having a total Wayne's World moment, but there are bathrooms and food and cocktails and like all your favorite people sitting at the table.
That's
So
nice.
it totally brought me joy.
That's lovely.
I
Really
really
cool.
love airplanes and like watching airplanes. So
Yeah. Yeah.
take off and land, flying overhead, great.
When I was working at that job, the car driving job, it was
Mm-hmm.
great because it was at the airport and it is just nice. Yeah, I do like seeing them come in. It's pretty exciting. Though these were like commercial flights, so they're big ass planes. Well, big ass planes for Belfast anyway.
Right, right, right.
So medium sized planes for most other places. Um. So
What
yeah.
about you?
So
Da
I
da.
guess I mentioned seeing my friends again. That was nice. It's the first time we kind of got together as a group in quite a while, maybe about 6 months or so. So that was super lovely. But and this it's so often I got to be choosing a product of
I
some
love
kind.
that though. I love
Uh,
that. I like you choose a product and then I get the benefit of watching. We
oh,
finished season 3 of Slow Horses.
oh,
Now
nice.
I'm devastated because the next one doesn't come out till like
I know,
November.
and they filmed them like ahead of time. But yeah, no, it's great. That last season was fantastic. I thought.
It was so good. It was so intense. Mike was like, "Should we stop watching?" I'm not going to give anything away, but the last 2 episodes of the third season, you're just like on your
Yeah,
toes the whole time.
yeah,
So good.
and
So well done.
lots of amazing.
Sorry.
The no, just before we get into it, the Jackson Lamb scene, which is one I talked to you about before, where he gets into the car with the guy, is so
Remind me
incredible.
to tell you about. Oh yeah. Okay, so I have to send you something. It was someone's created a fake Jackson Lamb yoga class,
Nice.
and it's all like I'm gonna fart and like namaste and fuck you at the end.
Even his reaction when he sees Roddy's car for the first time and he goes "fuck me" with a wire brush. It was such an amazing reaction. Anyway,
What
I
was it,
did
Big Rod?
Big Rod. Yeah, Big Rod. He's such an asshole, that guy.
I
Um,
know.
so
Sorry.
yes, it's got it right.
So
So
please drop a product in there.
yeah, yeah, Slow Horses on Apple TV. So we so the thing that I've been enjoying is it's another video game. It is so the you've heard of The Last of Us. I'm sure you have because the show and stuff
Oh
like
yeah,
that now as well.
yeah.
Did you watch the show?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. So it really follows the story of the first game really quite closely, and I'm really excited. So I'm playing through The Last of Us 2 because the remaster came out. I'm really interested to see, because it's quite a change from the first game. I'm really interested to see how the kind of larger world reacts whenever they kind of see the way the story goes. But all too often, and it is a trope in games, that writing is awful. It's just not good. It's an afterthought. It's the gameplay is the first and foremost, and the writing comes afterwards. But the writing in these games is fucking fantastic. The characters feel real and believable, and there's like a love story between two characters, and it happens pretty early on. I mean, it kind of builds throughout the game, but it's kind of like the game starts and they had their first kiss the night before. So it's them in this sort of period where they've just had their first kiss and they're kind of getting involved and they're like having conversations about rating each other's kisses and stuff like that, and it's just feels real and kind of solid in a way that a lot of all too often in video games women are like a trophy, and to see see these really well drawn female characters, and but characters, male and female characters, but it makes me very happy. It's just a nice kind of, even though it's a kind of a apocalyptic, kind of nightmare world, the how lived in the characters feel is really kind of nice, a nice thing to spend some time with.
It's a testament to video games and like how much care they're starting to put into them, that they're, I mean, granted, there was always going to be a Tomb Raider, just because, but like, it's that they're spawning movies and shows that are winning awards now. It's really cool.
It really speaks volumes to how far they've progressed, and I think there is
beyond like Grand Theft Auto, like getting out, just like slapping a woman in the face.
100%. Like getting a prostitute, having sex with her, and then murdering her immediately and taking her money. And unfortunately those are still the games that are going to get all the headlines and stuff, but like there is such a rich selection of other games. I think in previous week I talked about this game that was like about the immigrant experience, like this Indian family who moves to Canada, and it was like a story of their life told through cooking food, and I'm like, I love that this is possible. So exciting stuff out there.
Good. Love it.
So that was a lot of video game chat for all you folks out there. Hope you loved it. I'm sure you're all massive gamers, right? But
I bought the original Yoshi at a flea market on Saturday for $5.
Sweet.
It didn't work.
For the NES? No, wait. For what? SNES?
No,
NES?
it did.
Okay.
No, the original.
Okay, nice, good. Yeah. Interesting.
What do you call it? The NES?
NES?
NES? We call it the NES.
Yeah. Mm.
The OG from like 3rd grade.
Because we have the NES and then the SNES, but it was called the Super Famicom, I think, for you guys.
What?
Oh no, we're getting into the weeds. This is too much video game chat. Abort.
Abort.
Okay, we're wrapping up. We are wrapping up this time for sure. Folks, as always, we would like to remind you to stay bendy. Oh, another incredible one. Good job.
I think so. Well done.
All right. Bye, folks. We love you.
Bye, everyone. Love you. Bye. Thank you for listening to Bendy, a Beth and Andy podcast. We love having you here with us each week, so keep those ideas and feedback coming. If you haven't already, please follow and subscribe to Bendy on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon, and YouTube. We also have some awesome merchandise you can purchase on our website at bendypodcast.com. You can listen to all of our episodes, access our YouTube videos, and subscribe to our Patreon page, where you can see our Zoom recordings at bendypodcast.com. Next week, we talk about the movies that made us, and talk about the films that we loved, hated, or terrified us as children. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us to stay up to date, and thanks for being here. You always have a friend with Bendy.